Will the Colts upgrade again at the quarterback position? That's the question. No. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like
that he recognizes that Carson Wentz may not be the guy, but it's too late now because you're giving him money and you traded draft picks to get him. But it sounds like he's processing, watching the playoffs, that you got to have a special talent or something like that to do what you need to do. He's had 3 of them. In his ownership group, I mean, his tenure as an owner, he's had 3 of them. Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Phillip Rivers. Those are the 3 quarterbacks that have gotten him to a championship or to the playoffs. So he recognizes that. And I don't know that he recognizes it in Carson Wentz. That's why he's saying that. And he's saying you got to score points, got to have a defense, which they got a pretty decent defense. Mm-hmm. You got to have talent on the offensive side, which they got a running back, a couple offensive linemen. They need to upgrade at the receiver. And if they could upgrade at the quarterback spot, one being like an Aaron Rodgers type, maybe they make a run at it.
But look, you're on the hook with Carson Wentz for one more year, essentially, right? So, and we talked about this during the break a little bit. Other than Michael Pittman Jr., I mean, what other assets do they have? I mean, your second biggest playmaker from a receiver position was your running back in Hines, right? So, when you think about it, look at the wide receiver free agent class that's out there this year, from Devontae Adams to Allen Robinson to Godwin to Will Fuller, Juju Smith-Schuster, Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Williams. Like, there's options for them to upgrade offensively. And I think that's what you have to do if you're the Colts.
Well, they're not getting Devontae Adams. So
I'm just talking about the name of people who are out there, like the plethora of people.
I have a question about Wentz, Key.
Yes.
So I hear what Jay's saying about the skills positions are real. It's not bowling anyone over like, oh, my God, look at this array of talent in the skills positions, right?
I mean, he's fine.
They do have some talent on the offensive line. When they got Carson Wentz, the one thing I did understand about that is he used to have high-end talent, right? Like, he could do some stuff not many guys could do. Number one, is that still there? And number two, because I don't know if it is. And even if it's not at the level it used to be, can he be the kind of guy that you talk about that can do that, can hit that 2 or 3 times a game, as Stafford did at the end of that?
Max, let me ask you this real quick before Kevin jumps in. Who's in the NFC Championship game?
Rams and Niners.
Okay, who's the quarterback for the Niners?
Garoppolo.
I'm just saying, like,
man, y'all on this Jimmy Garoppolo hate fest.
No. That's not. I'm not hating on it.
Garoppolo hate.
I'm just saying,
not you per se. But the narrative as if Jimmy G is just hot garbage.
No, I'm not saying he's hot garbage. I'm just saying, though, Jimmy G is a good quarterback. I mean,
hate Patrick Mahomes. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, so if Jimmy G can get there based upon having a great defense and how Kyle Shanahan does it, I mean, Carson Wentz is feasible for Carson Wentz to get there.
You answered everything. I have no idea. I don't even need to go because you stole my notes.
Sorry.
So it's fine.
But the thing is, if you're looking at part of Carson Wentz's appeal is not he's going to read the defense so fast, make the right decision, and play calm and everything. If you're looking for Carson Wentz to do that, you got a lot of guys to do that better than Carson Wentz. Like, you want Carson Wentz to do a Jimmy Garoppolo imitation, you got the wrong guy. Part of the appeal of Wentz, why you give up a first for him, is because then a couple times a game, he can do something, you go, oh, look at that. That's some high-end stuff. Is that still there, you think, Key? Is it in him somewhere?
I think it is, but your initial question, and Jay kind of answered it by talking about Jimmy G, is can he do the things that I always say I need my quarterback to do? Yes, he can. Mm-hmm. But he's scary in a sense that he will go into panic mode on you in a heartbeat and act like he forgot how to play football. That is what you got to guard against when you're talking about Carson Wentz, where Jimmy G make a mistake, and it's almost like he laughs at it and comes back and makes a nice throw. And you're like, okay, well, I like that throw. Because even against the Green Bay Packers and Jimmy G made a couple good throws that you go, okay, I don't mind that. Kittle catches that pass in the end zone. We're like, oh, okay, cool. But it's you can do that with him, I think, Carson Wentz, but because of things that you talked about 60 seconds ago, Max, about – oh, well, he was great in 2018. He was wonderful. And he was an MVP candidate. He had big arm. And they get stuck into that mode. And, like, they think they can still get that from him opposed to making him a glorified Ryan Tannehill, so to speak. They get caught into trying to make him that guy that had an MVP year, and they shouldn't.
So, Keyshawn, JWill and Max, presented by Progressive Insurance. By the way, Evan, our producer, points out the Pat McAfee show takes place in Indy. It's like, Rodgers is on there once a week. There's like, I don't know. Is there any chance he could go to Indy, do a weekly in-studio appearance next season? I don't see how Indy gets him. I don't think they got enough to get him.
We're going to try to tie Aaron Rodgers to every team on every kind of connection point,
Anybody that
man.
needs a quarterback, Denver, Indianapolis, Tennessee, Miami. I mean, we're going to send him wherever they need a quarterback.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.